Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. Oh, wow, having lots of troubles here getting started, but we'll get her on up and going here. Welcome in. I was hoping to pull two flights off today, but you know how life goes, and probably this will be it. Time-wise is it's just getting away from me. However, if time does present, we'll put a second one out there. But for now, we're sitting in Tulsa where we left off our 737 for FedEx. We're heading to Fort Worth, Texas. And who knows, timing may hit just right, and the F&O event will start up for the Lone Star State, and we'll get a lot of traffic here on VATSIM. But for now, we are sitting here with the ZIBO 737, one of the aircraft I really have a lot of praise for. The team did a great job taking the default 737 that comes with X-Plane and just turning it into probably the best 737-800 out there on the market, and then amped it up just one notch further to make it the best. They made it free for you. All you have to do is download the mod. It's so simple to install, and they constantly keep it up to date. I am pretty sure today's version is at least one or two back, because I just didn't have time to check. So a lot of great features that you expect. The only thing that others would say, well, ours is better because of this. Well, you can say that, but you're gonna find out just how really cool X-Plane and the ZIBO combined are in the flight sim world. Now, we don't fly the ZIBO exclusively, although I could probably, but I also like the others. So, but anyway, I just want to say we're flying from Tulsa to Fort Worth, Alliance, where FedEx has a regional sort, and we're going to have a good time. It's about an hour flight, folks, so sit back, relax. We're just about cold and dark. We're just on the ground power. So enjoy, and I hope you enjoy the cold and dark setup here and getting it going. So let's, while we're at it, hop up in the cockpit. No big difference here to those of you that fly this kind of plane a lot in the sim, or real world for that matter. Looks just like the plane. Every one I've ever gone on looks just like this, and except for maybe the Max, which maybe we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll see this summer at the airport I work at if I'm still there. So, all right. So let's bring some toolkit in here. Well, actually, yeah, let's go ahead bring some toolkit in. We'll go as long as we can before the break starts. And if by chance the break starts, always remember YouTube is your friend. Just put the link in the chat, and if you miss anything that you want to pick up on, head over there. They'll be there, hopefully commercial free, as we have gone into the break. So again, thanks for being with Flying with Mike. We're going to continue on. We'll hit the highlights when they come out in about a minute or so. All right, so here is the route. Basically, let me just pan out just so you see it's a short flight, Tulsa down to Dallas, basically, folks. And like I said, timing-wise, we may hit this right and catch the beginning of the Lone Star VATSIM event, also known as today, this week's F&O, Friday Night Operations. All over the Lone Star should be opening soon. All right, so basically it's the OKM to FAWNT, and then in on the WESAT 2 arrival. We're planning 16 right there, most likely departing 18 left here in Tulsa. All right. Give them about 5 seconds to get out of break. That way we don't have to reassess here. Well, matter of fact, why don't I just do this? While they're coming out of break, this way I have everything ready to go. Are we 2100? It's the only thing I hate about this page. Yeah, that'll work. We'll actually do... Okay, and that's good. I hate that they don't put that field in the VATSIM. All right. Okay, folks, just filing my flight plan real quick. All right, so I see you all are back. And you can see that's what I was doing. Let's pull this back. Okay, we're going to do our pre-brief right now. For the loadout, yeah, go ahead, giggle. It's going to say passengers, just like it does in the other. Just the way the sim brief is set up, folks. They don't recognize the cargo version yet, that I know of. I'll have to go through the profiles one more time. Been a little bit since I have. They're getting more prolific out there, so. But anyway, 158 people were planning, 36,340 pounds of payload. Lock in the fuel, meaning that's what they're going to uplift into the wings, 13,646. So we got a pretty good load here today. Going out of here with 144,765 pounds worth of ramp weight. Again, there's our routing, and dispatch gave us a cost index of 35 and a top altitude of 30,000, which on about a 280-mile flight, folks, we might be able to squeeze a couple more out of it, but here we'll at least get a cruise, get things set up, and then get our descent going. All right, weather-wise, as you can see, pretty much almost a direct cross. However, winds are variable, but they're just puffing away at 3 knots. 10 miles of visibility and a few clouds at 2,500 feet to deal with, and 3,500. However, the ceiling is 4,200. Ceiling only means, folks, at that point you need to be instrument if you're going to fly at or 1,000 under it or above, because clouds are all around you and you're not going to see the ground. There's your altimeter, 29903. Down in the Dallas, we're going to the Fort Worth Alliance Airport. Winds are 130 to 11. Little puff to them. 10 miles of visibility. We got a ceiling set at 5,000 and 6,500. So again, perfect weather for us. Ought to be a fun flight. And anything else to show here? Looks good. Little bits of rain, mist, all that, fun, icky stuff smattered around us. All right, let's get into it, folks. Let's get this bird checking out and ready to go. If I get quiet, folks, I'm just working my butt off to get this plane airborne in 20 minutes. So bear with me. Gonna show a couple things off right off the bat. Why I believe and will believe ZIBO is the best. Not only for the value of the fact it's free, but what they have packed into this free download. You're about to be, it is amazing what this plane is like. First off, that other version just got one of these within the last couple of months. They didn't have an EFB. We've always had one here with the ZIBO, folks. And again, thank you, folks. This is the home page. So you got, a real good amount of stuff. Not going to get into this, is not what this flight's all about. And I may do that one day. Just put my butt right here. We go through ZIBO. And then, just do a video. I'm going to have to put that in the thinking about. All right, so we'll go to the fuel payload page. Now, prior to this icon here, we had to load it here, click here to get the fuel. Now, all we do is this. Go one page over, load our OFP. So basically what that means is, folks, you have to have an account over at SimBrief. Folks, if you don't, it's free. All you got to do is register. Once you register, folks, you're going to be amazed at how just amazing your flight plans are set up. Even what a lot of the real airlines fly come up for you. And then you can tweak them for if you're with a VA or if you want them for a specific tail and whatever. But then you'll just read through the ZIBO documentation. I'm not going to go through it here. You'll download it, install it download your flight plan files into your X-Plane 12 folders where they tell you. Click that button that I just did. Well, just click. We'll do it again. Click weight and balance, air service, triangle, and there you are. All you got to do is load your OFP. It's going to show what was on it, and that is the numbers, folks. And then all you have to do is activate. And look at that, the staircase is already out. If you're at a place where there's not a gate. If there's a jetway, it'll come out to you. Eventually you'll hear fuel and so forth. So really, I mean, and you're done. That's it. It's doing all of that you needed to do. So now you can get to your checklist like a pilot does, get to work. All right, so the battery's on, standby power's on. And I need to turn it up. Crank it, some people tell me. Crank it. And that's a little loud because I know what it'll be like outside. There we go. All right, so here we go, folks. All right, so your battery switch is here, standby power. If they're on, the guards are on, the power's on, you can see it. And we've got the AC/DC switch over to ground power. And let's head back up top here. Let's do our quick checks here. Flight recorder. Good. These are the two hardest ones to hear, but yet the most important ones to be able to hear. You want to be able to hear that stall warning alert. Okay, everything's good here. Aligned. Got your on DC, so you know you'll be able to know your position, even if you're on battery power in flight. And then once you get to align, take them to nav. 7 minutes, folks. A little tip here with any 737: switch your IRS display to heading, status, whichever one it says, or both, like in this case. And that's going to tell you how many minutes till you're aligned. Some aircraft put it right on your nav display. The rest, this is one way to find it. Okay, continuing on. Cabin utility, IFE's good. They're both on. Exhaust cooling, normal. Emergency lights on. Got to make sure the packages are seated, you know. Okay. Exterior lights are set. Any collision lights?
Fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Perfect. Thanks for flying with Mike. So your fuel's done. See what I mean? How it does everything for you. Rope heat's off. Anti-ice off. Engine and are on. Electrics are off. That's hydraulics, by the way, folks. And now your doors are all open. Trim air's on. Isolation valve open, packs on. 31 will set, and I think it's 800 where we're going. Let me double check. Oh, 750 I can set. Okay. It's 723 feet at Alliance. You do how you want, folks. I round up, but if you want to round it properly, it would be 700. You're the boss. You make the choice. I'm going to go ahead. Electric pumps off trim. Bleeds. Fuel. Fuel switch on. Here comes the APU, folks. Okay, and you can see that it's powering up. Once it's up and running, we'll then put in our IRS airport ref and start in on our perf and all of that good fun stuff. And dadgummit, I did it again. Forgot to get Top Cat going. Okay. Just bear with me a second here, folks.
Guys, the leader's on board.
Okay, so, I still got to get the fuel in there. The only thing I don't track right off the bat is burn. 4837. Okay, got all of that data in there. I do apologize on that, folks. I say it to myself, every time I start this and forget it. Okay, so the APU's up and running. Let's get the generators on. And we're looking good. Let's go to APU up here and turn the bleed on. So now we're on internal, which means I can disconnect the exterior power. And, oh, by the way, that does not affect what's going on here. Now, it's telling you where we stand. Down 1% because we're on the APU. 100% of the car goes in, which was 0, and 25%, so we're still a little ways for loading. Okay, so we got the APU up and running. Let's get the navigation system going. Now, first thing I always do, try to remember, is put this into plan, pump it up a couple so your range is a little bit more than just right ahead of the plane. And then I kind of zoom in, tilt it. Bear with me here, folks. A lot of screens moved around on me. And I do need to move it over. And I'm going to bring in charts. Okay. Just so I can position it better. Okay, that'll work for now. Got an idea where it's at. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull charts out for the moment. Because really don't need it at the second we're at. Now, what you're seeing at the bottom of that FMC It's telling you to put in the position. Okay, so we'll do this, clear. Make sure these are up to date. One reminder, May 15th. Got a couple weeks, folks. May 15th will be the next time. Oh, getting hiccups. Next update for your AirNacs. Anyway, continuing. He says cautiously as he hiccups his way through it. Okay, Tulsa. Now, what I do for my IRS, I go to the position, I go down one, GPS. I think today is the 3rd, so I'll be using the left side. I use the left side on odd days, the right side on even days for anything related like ignition systems, pressurization systems if they have choices, and so forth. Today being odd, we'll go left here. It'll just load down here. We go back, click in, go to route, click in, and then put KAFW. That's the arrival point. Then, if you're doing the way I'm doing it, folks, okay, click flight plan request, which is through SimBrief with the downloads going right in. Here's where some more razzmatazz comes in. Okay, upload's ready. Click load. You'll get an activate, execute. Okay, so now your flight plan's loaded to include your flight number, your departure runway. But we always want to check that. Okay, and then you can start seeing your routes. We'll get to that in a second. Let's first get our departure made sure it's correct. 18 left. Let's take a look with charts. Just look at the Tulsa 9 real quick, and then we'll, of course, reformat. Curious what the Tulsa 9 looks like. Oh, it's just a straight out. Okay. Let's take a look at it real quick on the chart. Basically, it is just climb on heading 180 to 1100 feet. Continue on assigned heading for vectors to assigned route. Maintain 15,000 or lower. Expecting further clearance to filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, why not? Let's just go ahead, add it. And if you don't have charts, folks, you can see, look at that. You can see your taxis and all of that if you zoom in or pull up the chart. But again, it helps you in flight planning. Anything you can use in flight sim for flight planning is always, to me, a gem. So we're going to go ahead, add it, execute. Now, with us in here, let me show you what again we did up here. We went to plan, and that brought us into this setup. Now, bear with me as I up the right direction here to get us visible. That should be good, just like that. All right, and now we're going to check our flight out, folks. So go to legs. All right, so you see legs vectors will be what we get after the 1100 feet to OKM, which I think is Muskogee. Don't quote me on that though. FAWNT. Almost did it wrong. Just hit the step page and it'll step you down. Now, FAWNT is the start of the WESAT. Okay, we're coming in right from here, running down to beneath, but we can just kind of zoom it up a little. So we're going to go FAWNT Chief, Benita to Matza to WESAT, and then WESAT we vector for the runways. 8,000 is where we're planning. So that's what we're going to make sure this says. Always step Nita, Vatsa, Witsa. And then we're vectoring. Oh, the runway's not in here. That's why. All right, so departure arrival. That's right, because we have to choose what we're going to fly in here. Now, one thing you can always do with the arrival, take a look at what it is. It's an RNAV. Does it say for a runway? No. So, the good thing is that means we can do this, close out, head down here real quick, and then we'll do the same thing I did here. We'll just click what's available. Ooh. Let's see. We're at the WESAT. So RNAVs aren't going to work out good. Ooh, ILS for 16 left. Oh, that's the close runway. Okay, that'll work. Matter of fact, isn't that what we're planned for? 16 right. Okay.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Okay, that sounds like they're closing the main door. All right, so let's look at that ILS. Get the chart.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
And they're waiting on us now, so that's never a good thing. So we'll go to Argu and write it. We'll fly the ILS. It's real simple. Let's just make sure nothing could work for us. Nah, they're not going to work. Okay, so we'll do this. And wait, are we on 3, 4, or 16 left? And what we'll do is we'll just, from WESAT, go to here and set up for our approach. And that's what it'll show here. Direct turn to Argu, straight down, then we hold at Oakland, and we'll come back if we have to do the mist. All right, so let's plug that in here. 16 left. Sad. Execute. Okay. Always want to make sure it doesn't clear things. Go back to legs. We'll do a quick rundown again. FAWNT, Chief, Nita, VATSA, WESAT vectors to Argu. So basically from WESAT we go to Argu. That'll be a little bit of a turn. And then head south to Wigzu. And then to the runway, correct? And then our missed approach. And out to Oakland. Okay, route looks good. Go to the perf page. Stand by here. We're going to change a couple things here. Let me get rid of charts. Well, hit the right button here. There we go. We'll be bringing TopCat in here in a minute. Okay. Size. All right. And TopCat. We'll have to remove it again here in a minute. All right. So I knew we would. For the performance, now you're all are going, man, that's a lot of movement. No, if you're not streaming, folks, you don't have to do what I'm doing. We may have some issues, but anyway, we'll see. Or we could always pull, oh no, we can't. I was going to say pull it up on the flight or first officer side. But anyway, guess what? We hit request again. Again, if you do this through SimBrief and do the proper setup, folks, it's really quick and easy. Talking it through takes a little bit. All right, there's your load. No execute this time. All right, so 13.6. I like to fill it in. Okay, there's our zero fuel weight reserves. Okay. Bear with me a second here. Let me bring Sim Toolkit up real quick so I can show how I do this, because a lot of people ask. Okay, here's Sim Brief. Here's our flight. I'm just going to click View. Now, how do I get this number? Very simple. If you're in the default, which is called LIDO, if you don't change the OFP in there, when you see that when you're setting it up, operational flight plan, by the way, but it'll say OFP. If you don't change it, you're in LIDO. So this is what it actually looks like if you print it off. Here's the fuel. Now, this is great for flight simmers because it gives the way I do my reserve number. Right here, final reserve, which is 3.6. Drop these numbers, just put a point in here, round up if need be. Plus your alternate. Alternate's 4.2. So we're looking at 7.8. Again, drop the 0. See? It's right out. Why? You got to have 45 minutes in the real world if you're flying like that, folks. 45 minutes. And you got to be able to make your alternate, your furthest alternate. Kind of useless to have 45 minutes of fuel and still not make your alternate and then run out of fuel. So that's why it's set up that way. There are other rules you could use out there, folks, but that's the big one. And so we said 7.8. Now that one you have to put in. Execute. All right, cost index, 3.5. I'd like to see the numbers showing. Up here, 30. Oh, let me get some toolkit out of here. All right, we're going to need TopCat for the next page. That's why. Okay, that'll help a little. All right, so 30,000 is our flight level. And then your winds and all are set in there. Now, if you know how to set all of this up, go for it. Otherwise, let it do it for you. Now we get to the part where we need TopCat, and it's these N1 limits. So let me pull TopCat up. Take off. First off, what you do with this payware piece, folks, you set up your aircraft. It's very basic, folks, and they actually have profiles for like PMDG, and they work, by the way, for ZIBO, for the 767, MD-11, and 747, 8 or 400. Not certain which one. I think the Airbus is easy to find, and a couple of other aircraft. But anyway, you set them up. You come over here to the weight and balance afterwards, fill that out as best you can. But the key I key on is right here, 0 fuel weight, my fuel, and my trip fuel. 5,000 pounds to taxi's a little excessive. It's 500 pounds for a 20-minute taxi in a 737. But anyway, that's all you got to do here, folks. Then go to takeoff. And I do update immediately. 13, okay, it's 130 at 6, 2990, and 26 degrees. Okay, switch your runway to 18 left. Here's your runway. Tells your slope. It tells your heading, width, length, your TORAs, your ASDAs, and your elevation. Okay, big thing you're concerned with is length, width, and heading. When we get into the FMC a little deeper here on the next page, you're going to see some of this information really helps. And it may not change it a lot, but it helps realism wise. Okay, we're on a dry runway. We're gonna the weather source for the update was NOAA, and that is pretty close. Optimum for my flap config and thrust config. Basically, that's thrust is here. The next page you put in your flaps. Air conditioning on. We don't need anti-ice. So we just simply, now if you're doing it in the real world and they're telling you take off from intersection, say O'Hare, Delta Delta on 10 left, well, it'll tell you what that is. So, or if you don't have a full runway to land on or use from the end, you can put that in here. It will adjust. Same with your MELs, which I don't think there are any. Okay. So if there were, you can put them in here, and that too will help with adjustments. All right, so all you do then is click compute. Now, a lot of information here, but you kind of get it real quick. V1, rotate, V2. Those are the biggies. Now, if you look on your FMC, you need to know which TO, derated, takeoff 2, takeoff 1, or all-out takeoff. That's just basically pulling the power back so those big $1 million plus engines out there can go the lifespan to their overhauls. Set times where they do that. Anytime they got to do them early because of overuse or not, I'm going to say babying them, because that's really what they're trying to do, is baby them to make it full length on their overhaul. So you're pulling the power back. It's still giving you enough to get in the air, getting yourself up to cruise and cruising. It's just not mashing it to 100%. And this number up here, your select, will help lower it even more. So we are looking at going, we'll go with a takeoff 2, flaps 1, and we'll put in a 38-degree factor in there. What that's going to do is bring our N1 down for this setup from 93 to 91. If, say, we did, let's just do takeoff. See, it's at 100%, so you're maxing that engine. But if you, I like the word Airbus use, you flex it, you get a little bit of, less wear and tear on it. Not to say it may not make it, but you're doing everything on your part to help the company. That's a lot of money, folks, to overhaul those big engines. And I can tell you from experience, if the companies that give you the parts go out of business, that's a really bad thing. Or go on strike, or do something weird where now all of a sudden you can't get parts. Not good. By the way, read the newspaper. Some of that's out there right now. I don't know the full details, so I don't want to go into total detail about it, but I just wanted to let you know that some of that's going on right now, and the major airlines have to deal with it, just like the little itty-bitty ones. All right, so we're going to do 38 degrees takeoff 2. So select takeoff 2, 38 is for your degrees. Okay, and then it's going to tell you the best climb feature. Click it. Okay, and then we go to takeoff. So you're set up now. So now I just click CG, go to the next page. Many of you go, my God, you went to that page. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Well, follow along. Runway wind. Right there, folks, 130 at 6. It's in your METAR too. Okay, this one's daunting. Slope, but heading is right there. Slope. All right, very simple, but even to me, I didn't do this one for a long time because I could not figure out the format. Don't ask me why I couldn't. It's actually so daggum simple. I smacked myself in the head so hard on that. Okay, you see it. Up +2. +2 means up 0.2. U 0.2. I can hear you all going, oh my God, that's so simple. Guess what if it was negative? D 0 minus, or 0.2. Yeah. But here's the one thing you got to make sure you do. Put the slash in and then put the heading 180. Just because it's 18 does not mean the heading on the runway is 180. It could be really, I've seen it so bad where it's the low 170s, or pick your dial, all the way into the 190s. So be careful, folks. Read the chart, or like in this case, I'll just go because I know it's pretty accurate. Temperatures look good. Dry, wet, or contaminated, you choose. Again, helps to get your V speed set right. Now, I told you right here, we're going 38 degrees. Here's our limit that we're allowed, which we're under. If you were not under this, it wouldn't let you. How about that? Guys that come out of Vegas and wondering sometimes why we're waiting on a delayed flight, it's because that number is, they're not under. So, yeah. Oh my God, did that used to upset me so much. They couldn't fly with the fuel, or they couldn't even fly at all. V1, rotate, V2, you got those speeds. This is what I like, the margin. What that means is how much runway remains, 1,284 feet. Will we see that? Maybe, most likely, no. And then there's our N1 again. Okay, so that takes care of this page. Click next page to get back. Now you just put flaps for 1. Now let's look at how close we came. That's 148, 148, 151. 147, we'll tack it in there. 148, 152. We're off by, if anything, 1 knot on these folks. Overall, would I have gone even if I just plugged those in? Yeah. I mean, 1 knot is not going to kill us, folks. 10 knots? Yeah, then I might consult books, make sure who's right, who's wrong. But overall, folks, there you go. The aircraft's ready to go. People are on board. And we're ready to push this thing back. What do you say? And we're pretty close to on time. There's a first. And what I'm going to do is leave this on the reference page. I'm going to turn this one over to the legs page, because we can then go direct once we're airborne. It makes it real simple that way. All right, back to the checklist, folks. All right, what did we miss? We got everything ready to go. EPU and that. Okay, we're to the middle screen here. My only, we'll say the word complaint, but it's not a complaint, concern. I'm one that likes to be able to click on these and they pop out. As you can see, they don't do that here. It just, one, for streaming makes it real nice, but I get it. The real pilots can't do it, so why should the simulator pilot do it? Because it's a simulator, it's not the real thing. But anyway, that's just me. That's a me thing. You know, they can do as they want. Let's do a GPS test.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Gonna do it again because I thought it missed something. As soon as I get my altitudes in here. Just in case they're waiting for me online. I didn't check, but I am right now. Oh, they're not. Okay, cool. Well, we'll start at 15 and work our way up. One more time.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Oh, I guess that's all we get. I thought we'd get the 500, 400, 300, 200, and so forth. We didn't. All right, so we got, as you saw, a lot of stuff up here. We'll reset our fuel flow and minimums. That's this over here. Now you can do either above ground or by barrow. Now, if you do barrow, you take this number, add in what you want. So you would have to, let's say, for this one, we got to start at 660. Okay, and then go 400 or whatever you want for your minimum. Okay, 400 feet is usually what the Airman's Information Manual says you should make turns off of your runway you take off of. Some procedures require it quicker. So, you know, you got to go by what the chart's saying. In this case, it's straight off 180. Really, it doesn't matter. But now, one thing though, this number is very close to what I set above the ground. Radio is above the ground. Barrow is your altimeter. Altimeter is 290. And yes, it's setting it over here. Oh, I'm on. Like, wait a minute, I thought I hit 0. I did not. I'm going to go with above ground. All right, and our course, we could set this in. Actually, no, Tulsa won't be that great of a thing to use because I believe the VOR is offset. Yes. So that doesn't help us much. All right, so we are ready to go, folks. Let's just finish this up. Minimums are set. Dashboard set. Flight director's on. Throttle's off. Speed brakes down. Flaps are up and showing up on the dial here. Brakes are set. Fuel cutoff. Stabilizer trim good. Real quick, I know you all love to hear it. All right, and we're good for the day. All right, here we go, folks. Let's get online. Look for FDX 511. Oh, whoa, 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 correction, 811. They're putting us out with 1747. I don't know why that doesn't show up all the time. You gurus that are VATSIM savvy, if you wish, you could chime in, let us know. I'm just curious why some places give it to us, some don't. Okay, Houston Center's online. They will not be a factor for this flight. All right, and we folks are ready to go. Let's take a look outside, see how they did automatically. The only thing we got to pull are the chocks. And that's it, folks. We're ready to go. Let's get better pushback on its way. Actually, you know what? I can do that from here. 100%, 100%, 99. Better pushback, pre-plan.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Okay, we're ready to go. As soon as I see the truck in front of me, I'll go ahead and pull the chocks. And don't be surprised if it emerges from the building, folks. Oh, that always gets me, folks. Sorry. Okay, chocks are away. Now, the nice thing about ZIBO, it will do that automatically for you. Okay, we're ready for our startup parking brake yaw dampers. We can actually turn those on now. And the passengers are
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
okay, and we're ready to go. The only thing we have to do now for engine start, just so you're aware, got to turn the packs off. So they'll go up. Once they're both up, then you can crank them. Now, we did do a power off or no APU air start, and that is not easy, folks. I'm going to tell you that took a little bit, but we got her going. We just wanted, for the heck of it, to try it. Okay, welcome aboard.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
1 second, dear. All right, now we will, now that the ACARS system is going. Now, remember how it said 10 minutes? Once we release brakes on the runway, click that button. 10 minutes from that point, folks. All right, brakes off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And that we shall do. Okay, remember? Off, off. We'll start number 1 first. I know y'all are going, what? $17 to 25%, you can then move the fuel lever to idle. Fuel flow, light up. About 50%-ish, we'll see the ignition turn off, start valve will close, and then it'll close off when we're stable. Actually, it'll close, stabilize pretty quick thereafter. I go ahead and kick the gen on. The nice, oh wait, wrong one. Nice thing about Airbus, that's done automatically for you.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, let's start number 2. Click over. Again, waiting for 17 to 25%. Cleared to disconnect. Okay, start valve off. And we're
Tow
gonna,
is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
thanks for flying with Mike there, better pushback. All right, so we are on the generators. I just turned off the APU bleed. We can turn on the hydraulics. Let's just go through here. AA's on, AC/DC to Gen 1. Probe heat on. Packs to auto. Isolation valve open. APU pack Lead off, and we can now verify that's off. Off. All right. Before taxi, set flaps to 1. Taxiway lights and turnoffs, engine starts. Just kind of do it from here real quick. 2 continues. Auto brake reject. ATC to Terra, heading bugs set. And our common traffic frequency here in the Tulsa area. Let me show you one way to get it. Again, let's use our friends from Navgraph Charts. Okay. They, like I say, they are one of the best payware items I have in on my sim. They give me charts worldwide, folks. And when you're in VAT USA, well, if you just go to the airport, you're looking for your tower frequency. Okay, tower, where are you? Everything else, so we'll go with 121.2. Oh, dang it. Hang on a second. This is something on my laptop. It powered off on me again, and it's because I let it run the power down. Okay, I believe 121.2. So let's come down here, set our radios. 200. Now, this is VAT USA only, folks, and I believe, as I've already seen a couple times, only when there's no ATC. Okay, if ATC's up, you don't have to play with this. They're gonna take care of it. Even when we went into Kansas City here a couple weeks ago, Center did it all. Never handed us to common traffic. So that's where you find it. You go to your chart, look for your tower frequencies. Now, if there's a boatload of them, I go with the active runway because usually they're set up on the runways. Very rarely do they say north, south, east, west. But if they do, just go with the flow you're on. So we're going to take 121.2 because that's what's 18 left. As you see here, 36 right, 8 and 26. So that's going to be what I use. It may even say tower / or dash CTAF. So that'll help you too. All right, and that's how that works, folks. Really, really, like I said, I really use this. Hawker 125, welcome in. Mr. Emoti is here in the moderator slot. Welcome, sir. And folks, before we get on the move here, check out Mr. Hawker when he's online. You never know what that man's going to be doing. He could be flying the sim, he could be playing the drums, or playing games. Who knows? Not games, computer games, but trivial games. So check him out when he's online, folks. He'd sure appreciate it. And of course, as always, throw a follow at him. Let's get moving. Flaps are at 1. Auto throttle will remain off till the runway. Reason I do that, folks, I had it once throttle up on me. And that wasn't time for the throttle up. And basically, we got about a 2-mile taxi to the north end of the airport for takeoff. second, folks. Got to click in on this screen so I can talk. Tulsa common traffic, FedEx 811, taxiing from FedEx to runway 18 left. All right. So again, by the way, folks, happy Friday. Made it through another week. All right, we're getting ready to cross 826. Got a taxiway, then the runway, and then a bit of a taxi on a. By the way, folks, also little tidbit about this airport that I learned while driving on the road. No, I didn't haul air freight out of here, but this whole area used to be loaded with Mad Dogs. That's right, MD-80s. This was a big depot for them. Always would drive by on my way. I forget where I was headed with the truck. Couldn't believe someplace wanted that many Mad Dogs. Just kidding. So, but yeah, this was a big depot for them. Alright, we're just headed up to the runway here, folks. Like I said, a long taxi. But again, my hopes was a second flight on this, but folks, it's just, we're going to get on the ground here in about an hour once we're airborne, and I'll be honest, just not going to have enough. Now, if I get more time later tonight, I might come back up. But we need to get some food here, my wife and I. So we'll turn one flight for sure, and then maybe come back for a second. Don't look, expect it. It'll be a surprise if I do. So that way Hawker can fly to Singapore and be happy. Also, folks, while we're in this long taxi, hey, join me tomorrow night. Somewhere between 5 and 6 o'clock. I haven't pinned it down yet. We are going to fly from Charleston Executive Airport up to White Plains Airport, New York City, in the Connecticut area. It's Kilo Hotel Papa November for Virtual USA's event up there. GA, folks, take your GA aircraft, meet us there. The flight is, bear with me, I'm pulling up their little ad here in Discord, but they have their Saturday night flight. It's 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Eastern time. Fly your favorite GA aircraft, and yes, folks, being May the 4th, May the Force be with you day, why not bring in your GA Millennium Falcon? But yes, it is May the Force be with you day, May 4th. And if you're not a Star Wars fan, that means absolutely nothing to you. So there's probably some people out there who've never seen the movie. I do recommend some of them. I'm not going to go through which ones, but obviously the very first one that came out was called Star Wars New Hope. That is the one that launched the Empire, and in more than one way. So check it out, folks. I'd love to see you all. Like I said, we'll be streaming it. We're going to be in the Citation 10 headed into White Plains. So hope you can tune in and enjoy the flight. Like I said, join us. A whole bunch of people are going to be there, folks. Virtual USA Flying Club. It's a GA organization, and boy, will you see a lot of mixes of aircraft. All right, we're getting to the end of the runway, so let's make sure we're ready to go. Auto brakes are set. Position lights will come on here in a minute. Landing lights, ATC heading. Let's get our nav and VNav set up. Okay, oh, we're getting a little off the center line here. And we're ready to go. Let's, one thing we'll do real quick while we're taxiing. Let's check our surfaces, make sure everything's good to go. Okay, and then blanket and trim supposed to be 5.0, and we're set 5.0. We're ready to go. Tulsa traffic, FedEx 811, departing runway 18 left, Tulsa 9. Here we go, folks. Weather radar on, TCAD or terrain over there. Lights are on. Okay, let's get the auto throttle on. Here we go. I'll tell you about that click spot in just a second, folks.
80 knots.
Folks, you know what? 1,200 feet of runway. While we definitely were before that point. We definitely were. You know, it was pretty close. We're supposed to put the gear up. What? That's radical there.
1,000.
Alright, we'll get the autopilot on. And now we'll go over here. Go execute, LNAV, and now we'll turn on course. And we'll bring the flaps up. And there you have it. Okay, so the 777 or the 787 Hawker's telling me is on. You have been warned. Okay, well, I have aircraft capable of it right now, and we're not still doing it. Way too long of a flight. That's almost 18 hours, folks. Between 15 and 18 hours. All right, so we're climbing out of here. Let me get our heading bug moved over. And now, all right, so let's get back on Unicom. And away we go. Oh, Lord have. I'm waiting to see you stream that long, boss. Again, it's close to 15 to an 18-hour flight. All right, so let's take a look at it. And just for Hawker. All right, we're getting close to 10,000, so we'll go ahead and turn our lights off. All right, we're on our way, folks. And looking like an estimate of about 35 minutes will be in the Alliance area. So while we continue this climb, we begin our acceleration. Let's go ahead and get these turned off. Make sure everything else is good down here. All right, let's get that look at our arrival one more time for those that may have missed it. All right, so we're out of Tulsa. As you can see, we're headed to Okmulgee, and then we'll turn in. Just make sure ATC has not snuck in on us. They have not. All right. So now we're on to the WESAT. WESAT 2. Real quick, regional approach here will be, we're coming in from the north, so 125.8 if they're up. And then here's the requirements. We need radar, RNAV1, DMEs, IRUs, or GPSs. Aircraft airports served, here are all of them. Notice one missing. Actually, two missing. DFW and Dallas. DAL.
You love me! You really love me!
Inyusuk, welcome.
68 just
Thank you
subscribed
for the
10
subscription.
months.
Actually,
10
I
months
should
in
say
great company.
resubscription. Sure appreciate you here, sir, for 10 months. Wow. Almost a year. Wow, that is just amazing. Thank you, sir, so much. Welcome in, and hope all is well. All right, so let's get back to this real quick. We're gonna go FAWNT Chief. Here, let me just kind of help zoom in a little. Anita, lots of matza. 8,000 feet at that point. And then we go over to our arrival page. Now we do have the capability, if visibilities are way off on us here, folks. Always a possibility on this. Hang on a second, just getting my heading bug. I like to keep it pretty close to my course line just in case something happens with my FMC. All right, we're on our way up. Okay. 2 minutes before the 10-minute call. That's pretty good. All right. So for this, I'm going to go ahead. Well, first off, let's get the weather. It's an hour and 5 minutes old. That's never good. 160 and 16, gusts to 21. 10-mile visibility, and we got some clouds to play with at 3,300. Thunder shower possibly, base at 4,400, broken at 6,500. So let's look down here for those of us not VTAR savvy, that aren't used to reading them. It actually breaks them down for you here in the nav program. So that TCU actually is towering cumulus. So we could have a thunder shower to deal with there. And anyway, they are ceilings at 4,400 feet. Keep that in the back of your mind. Temperature 28 degrees, 2986 on the altimeter. Right above it, you see 10 miles. Keep that. Those are what the airport's reporting right now. And so we got to make sure they're above our minimums for this approach. I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, they are. But we'll show you how you can learn that. All right. So now we'll go ahead and hide this and that. All right, just makes the chart fit better. All right, so there you go, folks. Now you can read it. Okay, it's an ILS for 16 left. Here's your ATIS. Here's your approach frequency. Here is your tower / CTAF channel, Common Traffic Advisory frequency. Again, we went through this on takeoff. It's a VAT USA thing. Anywhere else in the world, unless their specific VATSIM communities are doing this, you're not on the CTAF ground. And if you're a helicopter, look what you get to play on. All right, localizer, we'll have to set this 110.15. Identifiers right above it. And that'll be in Morse code if you were to test it like you should. Verify you're on the right channel. Final approach course 166. Wigzoo is our final approach fix. 2,400 feet MSL or 1,670 feet at that same point above the ground. Our decision altitude and height. DA is bold MSL above sea level, which is red right here. You can't see it, which is your altimeter reading. Okay, your radar altimeter reading is what's in brackets, your height above the ground. Okay, so 923 feet will be on your altimeter. 200 feet will be on your radar altimeter, which is what's reading you above the ground when it says minimums. And then your elevations. Okay, missed approach. Hope you've been reading it. Be a test on it if you have to fly it. Gonna pull out a little bit here, folks, as much as I can. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're coming basically right about here-ish, somewhere right in here is WeSat. We'll fly over to Argu, get on Argu, down to Wigzu, down to our inner marker, and make our landing. Left side is the closest runway to the FedEx terminal and all of that. So, missed approach, you can see here. We're going to fly off, make our little turn to intercept the Fuse or Ranger VOR 15.7 303 outbound radio to Oblin, 24 miles out, and we'll do a teardrop entry for the hold. Vertically, we need to be at Argu descending through 4,000, 4,000 and above. Wigzu at 2,400 like it's set up in the briefing strip, and on glide slope. That's what the little X is marking the spot for the pirates. Argy matey. 5 miles out, by the way, at that point. Descending on it, we'll cross the inner marker here and make our landing. Now, our missed approach point, folks, occurs at 200 feet above the ground, or 923 and or 923 on your altimeter. It's the same number, folks. It's the same little point in the sky. One's measured from sea level, one's measured from the ground below you. By the way, METARs from the ground below you, not sea level. We went through that on the last flight. If you got a 200-foot ceiling, well, if you're at Denver, that's 4,800 feet below you. Pretty hard to see them, huh? So, anyway, for us, again, 200, well under 4,400. Half-mile visibility is the minimum, way above it with 10 miles. So we're way above minimums. We're perfect for the airport. RVR of 18 is allowed here. As I understand instrument approaches, folks, I am not instrument rated, so don't take this as gospel. Take this as what I think it is. As you're coming in and you hit 200 feet, if you do not see runway environment, that includes runway approach lighting, the runway itself, and the pappies, baby. It's a go-around. If you see the runway approach lighting system, you then proceed to a point where you can see the threshold. If you can't, you go around. It's really interesting to watch this when they are right about minimums, folks, and how they come in. It's just amazing. We had it a few months ago out at the airport I work at. Kudos to the pilot. He did all that pilot stuff he learned long time ago. And there you go, folks. Now, let's get into the most important part. What is our approach speed? For that, let's head over here real quick. Home. He says home. Performance, AFW, 16 left. We'll go flaps 30. Dry winds. Just went through this, but I'm going to pull it up. Looking at it again. All right, 13 minutes old now, so they just updated it. It's 170 at 16. What are we looking for? 170, diagonal 16, enter. Outside air temperature now a balmy 27. 81 degrees. Dew point 20, does it tell me that? Yes. 68 degrees, so it's a little sticky there today, folks. And the QNH is 10:11. Technically, yeah, 10:11 will round up. Okay. All right, all the rest filled in. Speed brake. Oh, brakes, here we go. And our estimated landing weight. $139.4. Got that from our sim brief. All right, and well, I don't know why it does this. I want 5. It does 8 all the time. And we'll click there. And unfortunately, it's in meters, folks. I don't know how to change it if it's even changeable, but it looks like about half the runway is going to be used. If we do everything right. So, we'll fly in at about a 150. Remember, we're +5, so 145 should be the landing. Auto brakes 3 will put us at 1,835 meters down the runway. Like I said, approximately halfway. It's 3,353 meters. So about halfway. And that would put us off at Echo or Delta. And then we turn back for FedEx. So a lot of neat things here, folks. That you can do. We're not going to worry about the captain talking. I think the cargo back there is in good shape. All right, and currently 37 miles from top of descent. Remember, it's 8,000. Let's verify that it's plugged in. It is. Okay. So, let's plug in 8,000. And with the newer technology, one you can see ahead, so we'll push it 1 up and see where that should put us pretty close to here. So, all right, couple of ways this can be done, folks. You can click descend now. By the way, if you're flying other than the US, here the word forecast on your descent page where you set your flight level. Go ahead and get our descent winds. So that's one way you can do this descent. Okay. So you can come over here, click descend now, or set your temp and hit Alt intervene, altitude intervene. That's what I'm gonna do. And then you just noticed it switched. Now, if you don't have these 3 buttons, you may have one that says VNAV. Click VNAV, then next page till you get to your descent page. And then set your numbers. Okay. Just click descend now or whatever. Okay, you saw we got our winds set up. Try one more, but more than likely, yeah, it's way off. So we'll keep it at this till we cross FAWNT, then we'll start lowering. Missed something. Whose job did you have? He had to do his job. Got it. Not sure whose job I had to or he had to do. Missed that. Probably may 59 years old be a better year for you memory-wise than for me. Yep, I totally missed it. Okay. We are descending. Once we hit that descent point, folks, it will steepen.
You love me. You really love me.
Spaceman, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for the resubscribe.
Spaceman 634 just subscribed for 29 months.
months now. Wow. Amazing. Thank you, sir, so much for the resubscribe. And glad to see the site's back up and going, folks. Check out Spaceman. If you are into flying DCS, this is one of those you might want to talk to. He has a squadron, and they fly on digital combat, and you will enjoy. I try, but it blue screens, so I kind of stay away from it for now. Who knows? Maybe some year, far, far, far from now, I may come back to it. But welcome in, Spaceman. Thank you so much. Oh, all right. So we are on our descent. Let's just take a quick gander back outside at it. Right now, the weather is looking pretty decent here. A 100 years ago. That could be that long till I try it again. All right, so we're making the turn here at FAWNT and then headed for lots of matza. All right, Oklahoma City is coming up. Like I said, folks, we're right at the edge of when the Lone Star event starts up here on VATSIM. It's the Friday night ops. This week or this month, however the heck that thing works now. I've been reading a lot of disgruntlement out there in the forum world, and yeah. So, but anyway, it could heat up pretty quick as we're getting in there. But I'm going to go for now, put in my frequency just in case. 135.15. Okay. And our ILS frequency is 110. Wait. Oh, I got it right. Okay. 15. Wow, this is... Wow, that sun is really playing with it. We'll push that up. And I think... I'll put 15.7 over here. And 117.54 UKW. Okay, what was our frequency? Heading 166. So there you have it right there, folks. We're landing 16, but if you would have put 160, you would have been off the path. Especially if you were in the weather. 26. And what this basically marks, folks, here's UKW. It marks where you reach Argu, then turn in. The other one we said is Fuse, which is what we'll use to get out to Oblin. So if we had to do the mist. Okay, let's get some checklist items going here. All right, so we're descending, engine start switches. We'll get those back onto continuous. Go ahead and turn that on. And we are just about to transition, which we'll set to 2985. Now, if you didn't know this, folks, you can preset this at any time so that when I click standard to come back to our normal settings instead of 2992 in the US, 1013 I believe it is in Europe. If it's not, it's 1012, or everywhere else. When you hit standard, it'll take you to whatever the current altimeter is that you need. Something quick, something easy, so that you're not struggling, you know, my God, I gotta set the altimeter, you know, because, you know, you could have flown 1,500 miles, folks, and that altimeter could bounce significantly. So, to where if you just click standard, it goes back to the one you were at. Well, Insuik 68, thanks for the $4.20 sip. Let me try that again. Let's get some English moving here. $4.20 tip that you've given us. Thank you so much. And I don't know why my alert did not go off for that. Something to look into tonight, into tomorrow. But thank you so much, sir. That is much appreciated. Okay, below that. Yeah, here. Engine start switches. 8 minutes to go, folks. I wouldn't count on that too much. And we are going to get pinged by Fort Worth. So, we'll get that set up here when they decide to call us. Fort Worth Center, FedEx 811. See, you're up. We're inbound Alliance, just about over Chief. $2983. We'll continue. We sat FedEx 811. Geez, they got more than one. Oh, they don't. Kind of curious what's waiting for us here. No tower, no ground, no delivery, so that's good. So again, like I said, they are just, I think it is fire up time. Nope, they still got about 40 minutes. All right, 10,000 feet, we put the lights on. FedEx 811 just crossed Matza for WeSat 10,000 or 97. Now you can see how that line translates out. Now what's our, after WeSat, what are we vectored on? 130, okay. The ILS 16 left for FedEx 811. Thanks.
1,000 to go.
FedEx 811 out of 8,000 for 3,000. Left turn 060 for FedEx 811 for vectors. Okay, we got our numbers in, sure. 110.15, 166. Oh, it's raining, folks.
Thousand to go.
Okay, right turn 130, maintain 3000 for the approach, 16 left, cleared in. FedEx 811. Localizer's alive.
$2,500.
Okay, everything's alive. Here we go, folks. It has been a while since I've been here in a FedEx. Got the runway in sight. Worth, FedEx 811's fully established. 16 left. Clear to land, 16 left, FedEx 811. Sometimes I like to get that done, folks, before the final approach fix, just in case things really heat up like this event could. So that way you're 5 miles, you're good to know you're cleared to land. Now, they may not do that until you're 3 miles because of getting traffic out if it's busy. Like Dallas-Fort Worth will probably get busy. But they may have a tower and an approach handle on them. All right, I'm going to take over if y'all don't mind. All right. Love it when the wind is saying it's pretty close to down the middle, but we got a 14-9. We are landing. Now, when you find yourself drifting above the glide path as we are, pull the power back a little. Let her settle to just a slightly steeper descent, and lo and behold, bring a little power back in and you'll be right on the glide path. Same with your inputs for if you're getting left or right of center line, use the rudder. Don't have to necessarily pop in the ailerons all the time.
500. Approaching minimums. 400 minimum. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Left of the ramp, FedEx 811, thanks for the ATC. All right, as we continue our taxi, let's get our lights off. Okay, checklist here after landing. Alright, obviously we're going to get these ignition selectors back over. Probe heat can come off. Alright, and last but not least, stay trim to 4. Alright folks, where you see that FedEx ATR sitting is the FedEx ramp. And you know what? I don't think we've been to Alliance since the scenery update. I think it was earlier in this one or maybe in 8. Wow. Yep, looks like our taxi is coming into the ramp. Flight director's off. Weather and rain off. All right, folks, we're into blocks. Let's go ahead and do this. And let's go for that. And all right, folks, we are in. Again, sorry for this being such a short flight. Just a lot of things hit me, plus there was some problems with the sim when it fired up we had to fix. But overall, this was a good flight. We're going to finish up with the shutdown here. Parking brake APU should be up and running. I thought I turned it on. If I didn't, we got to wait. Nope, it's on. Gents. Lead. And good for shutdown. Sometimes my mouse just has a hard time grabbing things here. It is what it is. But yeah, we're in. Engines are off. Fasten seatbelts so the packages can now move about as they wish. Fuel pumps coming off. Beacons off. And guess what happens? Yes, folks, it's already unloading. Really love this. It's doing all the hard work, you know, that we'd have to go in, zero everything out if you so chose, but it's doing it for you. So that's pretty cool, and you can always track it by going here to the air service, and you can watch the numbers go down. So we burned about 62% of our, or I'm sorry, 38% of our fuel to get here. Remember, alternate was down in Houston. All right, so I am going to go ahead so I don't forget. Here is Fort Worth and Albuquerque. Houston's up as well. That is the Lone Star FNO. So they're up and going for you, for those of you so challenged and like to do it. Transponder, just making sure. Yeah, I got it all. Okay. All right, let's close out here. And we'll snooze that break that was coming. And we're going to get our butts moving here. So let me close out my flight so I can let you know what they recorded us at 4:01 at FedEx. That's not bad. And then now, one thing, if you were to join FedEx Express Virtual, I'll get you the details here in a second. Always, if you're not sure of your aircraft, go in once you're up and running on the ACARS, click the route page and make sure your aircraft shows up there as an aircraft and not blank. Some sims, some of the aircraft aren't put in there correctly, so you got to make sure that's showing. Otherwise, they'll reject your flight. Our case, they took it, and not bad. All right, so let's take a look at it real quick here, shall we? Sim Toolkit is what we love to use on this, folks. Where are you? All right, so you can see 381, they had us at 131. A little slow. That might be part of why the little harder landing. But again, it's starting up. I don't know why Houston Center's not showing. Huh. Anyway, so there's our route. And let me finish the flight. From the logbook, my logbook, you can see all your flights. Any of them you can click in and see how you're doing. You love that one right there. Whew, that was rough. By the way, that aircraft was known for hard landings, just if you didn't know. Very interesting tale on that plane. Sent the video link to Hawker. Hope you watched it. Anyway, here's what our flight looked like, and we'll get the details now on it. It was an hour flight, 205 miles, burned 2.2 kilograms of fuel, or metric tons, however they say that in kilograms. However, for the landing, 381 feet a minute, 1.4 on the G's, and 131 knots. Why I like Sim Toolkit is this feature right here, a more in-depth look at your landing. That's what we're all striving for, are these really good grease job landings. I did it when I flew private pilot, folks, all the time. We try to learn, what am I doing wrong? And sometimes it takes going up with an instructor for a day and just, what the heck am I doing wrong? But here, we just got to learn from what we see. And what we see here is blast pads behind us. So I recommend do not land in these things in the real world. Flight sim, it doesn't matter. But the real world, you could pick up FOD. Never a good thing. And then the hash marks are 500 feet down the runway. Okay, so up here is our where we landed, 1,397, call it 1,400 feet down the runway, 7 feet off to the left. That's not bad when you have 150 feet of runway, width-wise. The closer to the center line, the better. Make sure your engines won't take anything or blow any of the lights over. And as you can tell, the deepest black marks are where most aircraft land, and we're pretty much right in it. All right, our pitch was 5.46, and so you can see all the rest of the data. Hang on a second. And let's go okay, okay. And I am going to, whoops, wrong way. Try and replay this. The landing, at least. Folks, in X-Plane, it is quite possible to go all the way back to the very beginning and do it again. So hopefully nothing looks weird on the plane. Let's take a look real quick. Sometimes the doors and the ladders and all of that are out. They're not in this case. Okay. Let's go out a little bit further, a little further. Good point right here. Landing gear down. That's about all you're going to see in here. All right, let's speed it up. Oh, you gotta love that every now and then. See if it comes in quick. All right, let's see how this really looked. I beg to differ on the 7 feet, folks. Do a little fighter bit there. Nice landing. I like that landing, folks. A little bit squirrely on the rudders and all, but we'll take it. Let's see how it looked coming in on the nice approach. Let's take a look out and see what the packages thought of this, folks. Again, thanks. Oh, you guys are not seeing anything. Doggone it. Okay, little bit of a thump. See how it looked out here, and then we'll do another one from the outside so you all can see, and then see what the tower shows us. Nice. All right, let's take a look one more time coming in from behind. How about right here? Looked pretty good to me. Let's take a look at the best view in the house, usually from the tower. Welcome to Fort Worth, folks. Folks, it's been a great time. I am not going to be able to kick off a second flight, but if time permits later tonight, I may come on. But tomorrow, please join me between 5 and 6 o'clock. Pay attention to our Discord channel, folks, because we're going to be flying in an event for Virtual USA Flying Group. They are going into HPN Kilo Hotel Papa November. Big fly-in, bringing the Citation 10's what I'll be doing. So really hope to see you tomorrow. And hey, join us. Fly. It's a huge fly-in. There'll be ATC, everything on VATSIM. So I hope to see you all there. Hope to chat with you tomorrow night. Like I said, between 5 and 6 o'clock Central Time. I'm going to ballpark at 2200 to 2300. We're going to be flying out of Charleston to get there in time for the event. So hopefully, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed today. Tulsa to Fort Worth Alliance Airport. So hope you all have a great night. Be safe. Again, thank you, Spaceman, for the resubscribe. Inusik 68 for both the resubscribe and the dono of $4. Sure appreciate you. We really do. And let's see if I missed anyone else. No, I did not. So thank you all for being a part. I know it's a short stream, and I know some of you actually appreciate that when these come up to YouTube. So folks, have a great night. God bless you all. We'll see you definitely tomorrow evening, but we may come up in before then. So y'all have a great night. We'll see you then.